Hi guys, welcome back. Okay, so it's already 1 week into the league, and in this video I will just quickly go through the current meta builds and skills being played, like the current state of the meta, and along the way I will give my thoughts and opinions for each of them. Also, I will just be using it based off from POE Ninja, and for those of you that would like to know more about those builds, I will put the links of the builds from other players below in the description if you would like to check it out. Okay, so what have you guys played so far? Like, what is your league starter for your Scourge, and how's your league progression currently? You can always leave your comments below. We can just share each other thoughts on the current meta. Okay, for me, I've been playing aura stacking Carrion golems like for many consecutive leagues already, and GGG just suddenly decided to kill it really hard. But then again, I was still playing the Necromancer Carrion Golem for league start, and I've actually decided to abandon it because it scales really quite badly towards the new Scourge mechanic. Like, the clear is not fast enough. So if you are not clearing fast enough, then those packs of mobs will just rush you down and you will just die lots of time. So that is what I'm currently experiencing right now, and that's why I decided to reroll a new character, and it will probably gonna be a cast on crit Ice Nova Ice Spear character. If not, it will be a cold damage flicker strike build. So if you guys want to see the low budget version of those two builds, be sure to take a look at the build guide that is going to come soon. I'll upload it once I have the build perfect and right on for beginners as well. Okay, so let's dive right into the meta report. Okay, as you can see, right, these are the top few contenders for the meta. So first you have Saboteur, and then Champion. Third you have Occultist. Fourth you still have Necromancer on the list, and fifth we have Raider. Okay, so in terms of compared to last league meta, right, we can still see that Saboteur, Necromancer, and Raider is still in the top of the list. Okay, so there you can see Necromancer, Raider, and oh, okay, so sorry, so the other one was not inside. Okay, so Saboteur was not inside. Okay, wait, sorry, this is the end of it. So yeah, here you go. Okay, sorry, so Necromancer, Raider, and Saboteur is always one of the more popular league starters as always. Okay, it has always been dominating because of how good they scale early on into the game. So let's just look at Saboteur. So Saboteur, we are experiencing a very high surge or number of players that are playing Seismic exsanguinate now. This is a huge number of popularity towards it. The build is just very good. With very low investment, you can have very high damage. So it's just very easy to go through Vortex. I wouldn't say he has the speediest or fastest clear or the best bossing, but in terms of how it works, it is very good and decent. Okay, it's a very good beginner friendly build as well. Even though you have a very low amount of life pool, you actually need to know how to dodge all the boss mechanics and stuff, but overall, with very little investment, like I would say probably less than 1x, it can bring you very far, like even to Guardian or Shaper maps. Okay, and then next we have Eye of Winter. So Eye of Winter is 4%. You can see that Eye of Winter is also actually quite popular, but just that it does not scale as much as it does not scale as much as Seismic Trap and the Eye of Winter. Okay, but the idea is there. Okay, the idea is there. You are still going to use Snake Pit mainly. This is quite a very common item for trap spells that has fog. Okay, sorry. So yeah, it's how do I say it? It's built based on more survivability because it's a cold damage build, right? Yeah, so I really don't play traps or mines, so I don't really know how I should comment this, but based on the videos that I saw, right, it's actually quite decent and nice. Like, it has a good clear, it has good boss mechanic, as in good boss clear speed as well. It's not the slowest, but it's not the fastest. It's just a very good all-rounder. Like, for those of you that are scared of dying too much because you are going too much of a glass cannon in the exsanguinate seismic trap build, you can choose to go for the Eye of Winter because cold damage is always the safest, right? Yeah. Okay, and then next we have Champion. So Champion is going for the Toxic Rain. For those of you that have watched Zizaran's video, the builds that has been referenced from Lighty, the build is actually very solid good. Like, no joke, it is really very good. Okay, I did not expect to see this coming. Like, using a bow build on a Champion, really not expected to see it coming this league, man. But then it is just overall very tanky. The build is extremely tanky. Okay, it is so tanky that you don't really have to worry about all the other stuffs, like getting one shot or randomly dying to your mistakes, like running through pack of mobs or just standing there getting hit by tons of monsters. You don't really have to worry about that because it's just so tanky and it's able to dish out so much damage with just minimum investment. Okay, maybe this is okay, I think this is still quite viable, but yeah, you can see it just scales more towards the right, towards all the dot damage over time nodes, and then all you have to do is just build all the tanky items around you, and yeah, just let the ballista totems and your toxic rain deal the damage while you just soak in yourself all the damage. I think this is one of the tankiest build I have seen so far in relationship to how much damage you can deal over time. Okay, this is just a superb build. And you can see that most of the people are just paying toxic rain, like almost majority, I would say 70%. I think 70% is really very good already. It just shows you how good the build is, and everybody is just hopping onto the hype train and, you know, try out, test for yourself to see if it's really good or not. Okay, the next build is Cyclone. I think this build has been already here for some time. It is the unarmed Cyclone. So most of them are actually playing the unarmed Cyclone. It doesn't have the best clear. Okay, it doesn't have the best clear. It's actually, if you ask me, the clear is actually really not, I wouldn't say bad, but it's just decent. Okay, because you're not using a weapon, so which means that your AoE is, your area effect is very small, and that makes your Cyclone very small. But it hits really very hard. It hits really very hard because of Facebreaker. You have so much more damage. Like, look at this, 795% more physical damage. That how do you even find this kind of 3-digit percentage modifier from your items or your gears? You don't. So this is like one of the best unarmed builds of all times as always. Okay, and yeah, next you actually have exsanguinate and Spectral Helix. These two is competing. I'm not really sure how exsanguinate works. I think it's just dishing out spells with, I think that, is there any yeah, okay, so there's some damage over time modifiers to this also. Okay, so I think this guy is playing a damage over time modifier. But yeah, you can see that exsanguinate is one of the third most played as well. I wouldn't really see this percentage, to be honest. And then next you have Spectral Helix. Mainly it's just using skills that if you would ask me, it's using skills that you are comfortable with, but just utilizing the champion class, because the champion class is just so much tanky now. Like, it just gives you 45 increased armor, increased evasion, maybe chance to block if you are using a shield and stuff like that. Just so tanky. Okay, and next up we have Occultist. So Occultist is the third contender for this meta. I think most of the it's actually quite spread out, the current skills that Occultist is being played. But okay, so first on the list we have Bane. I think this is the Bane Occultist. Some of you might have seen the video. It's actually quite awesome and interesting. Like, you just go around and, you know, wait, hold on, let me just find Bane. Yeah, so Bane, it applies hexes from cursed gems, and then it deals chaos dot damage per second. So there's a lot of dot damage going on as well. It's really very awesome in a sense that, how do you say, you can see that the life bars of the monsters are going down very rapidly. Okay, so they are making use of Occultist Ascendant skill tree to deal lots of chaos damage, inflict double curse on it, as well as, what was the last one? Actually, I don't know what is the last one. I can't remember already. But just utilizing a lot of chaos damage from Occultist skill tree to deal all the damage over time from Bane. Okay, so this is just one example. I'm not going through the rest. And next, second, the most played skills is also Essence Drain. So if I remember correctly, Essence Drain is chaos damage over time as well. Okay, so I can see this person is actually playing both Bane and Essence Drain. I never played this build before, so I don't really know. Oh, okay, so most of them are actually playing Essence Drain and Bane. Okay, I did not notice that until now. Okay, so yeah, you can see. So if you were to add out this percentage, actually majority of the people are playing Bane and Essence Drain together. Okay. Then next up, in this case, I would say the second most played skill will be Vortex. So Vortex is a cold damage over time build. Yeah, you can see here, right? It's damage over time. So another damage over time build that utilizes Occultist cold damage and the double curse mechanics of Occultist, which gives you, I think, what are they? I'm not sure what are they using. I know one of them is definitely Frostbite. Okay, maybe I should just head down here and see. Okay, so Frostbite. Oh, so they are using both Frostbite and Elemental Weakness. Okay. Oh, they are using Punishment also. Okay, maybe they have another +1. Oh, they have a +1 to Curse, right? So they are using 3, but yeah, it's a very good old school damage, cold damage over time build. Like, you just put down your Vortex and then you just hang around, go in circles and see the boss dies and stuff like that. I didn't play this before, so I also don't really know how well it scales for mapping, but I do know for bossing, right, Vortex is actually quite awesome. Like, there's really nothing much to do. You just go in front of the boss, put down your Vortex, step back a little bit, and then just walk around and then watch the boss health decrease very rapidly. Okay, so next is Death Aura. Death Aura is probably third on the list. I have not played this before, but I know one thing for sure is they will require this very specific unit, which is Death's Oath's Astral Plate. So what it does, it grants this level 20 Death Aura. Okay, and you just need to socket all of the support gems that will have this Death Aura. Okay, I'm not sure what. Okay, I will probably need to go to the POE website. Hold on. Okay, so this is Death Aura. This comes from the very specific unique body armor that is on just now that I show you, the Death's Oath. So what Death Aura does is it casts an aura that deals chaos damage over time to nearby enemies, and it deals 758, I think, at max level 20. So you just need to, the body armor doesn't even need to be 6 link, okay? It just needs you to be, you just need to socket 6 support gems into it, like stuff like this, they already show you. So, Void Manipulation, Swift Affiliation, less duration so you can deal more damage, Concentrated Effect so you have more area damage as well, Efficiency, Support. So yeah, you can see it's just a very straightforward build. You don't need any 6 link for this build, okay? This build is I will say is the one and only build that doesn't need a 6 link anywhere. You don't need it anywhere. Look at this person, he's just not even socketing a 6 link. So he's using Swift Affiliation, Efficacy, Concentrated Effect, Void Manipulation, less duration, and Life Tap. Okay, I'm not sure why you need to use lifetime. Sorry, I didn't play this build before, so I'm not sure why, but okay, there must be some mechanics that goes with it. But yeah, probably, oh, this guy is going live as well, live tap. Okay, I'm really not sure why live tap though. And they are using the impressors for the, oh, despair. So despair actually deals more, allows you to deal more chaos damage, okay? I'm pretty sure this DPS over here is not accurate. It's definitely not accurate. I've seen the build before. I know how it works, but I did not play before. But I can say it's a very satisfying build where you just don't need to do anything. It's one of the very lazy builds. So for those of you out there that wants to play a lazy build, this is really just right for you. You don't need to do anything. Probably just, you know, use a little bit of movement skill and defensive skills over here and just walk around picking up items. Okay, it's really cool. You can go and try it out. I don't think I have a link for this. I can search one, but if there is one, I will link it in the description below. Okay, so fourth on the list, we have our all-time favorite Necromancer. So Necromancer has been pushed down to fourth this league, like finally. It has always been at the top of the chart for many leagues already. Okay, they have always been trying to nerf minions over and over again, but it's still just not enough. This lady over here is still dominating in the top 5. Okay, so the most played skills now is Summon Skeletons. Okay, Summon Skeletons is extremely popular now. You can't really see which is dealing the most damage, so I'll just take a few because most of them should probably be the same. Okay, so most of them should probably be the same. Okay, I can probably do this. Okay, yeah, okay, so this guy is using the Necromancer Silk's Flesh Crafter. I think this is very common. This is very common for those Necromancer that plays skeletons. Yeah, and they are using the skeleton mages for sure. Where is the, yeah, here, that Dead Reckoning. I have tried this build on a low budget and I will say it's actually quite satisfying, like for real. Okay, for real, they are really quite satisfying. Also, this guy uses the Summon Skeletons on his helmet. Yeah, with the Spell Echo, right, and the Pierce and more support. So this person uses volley support. You can use greater multiple projectile. It works also. It's just the clear speed is actually very fast. Like legit, it is very fast. Okay, with the Pierce and the GMP, right, they are just shooting lots of small little what do you call that, projectiles. It's very cool. If your PC can't take all the projectiles or whatever, please do not play this build. Okay, there will be lots of it because of Spell Echo as well. And how many skeletons can you summon? So you can summon no wait, it's not written here, right? Is it here? Okay, I don't think this information is enough, but yeah, you can summon 7, right? So with 7 and maybe volley support, you will be shooting like 3, and then with Spell Echo you'll be shooting like 6. So 6 times 7 is like what, 42 projectiles. That's insane, man. Yeah, this build has always been one of the all-time favorites as well since last league already. Okay, so you can see most of the people are just using Flesh Crafters as a way to keep the minions alive. Okay, if you were to ask me, it's just to keep the minions alive. It has more ES and their hits ignore elemental resistance. This is what is best over here, which means, right, the enemy monsters are just taking the full elemental damage. This is super good. Okay, and then next we have still Ray Spectra. I have no idea what Spectre they are playing now. Some of them might still be trying hard with Syndicate Operatives because as a Necromancer user, I know that Syndicate Operatives has just gone downhill right now. Like probably even the new Spectres, the Demon Harpies are much better with the physical debuff and the Scream. He actually does a lot of damage, so do not underestimate those new Spectres. Okay, and now since that they have nerfed the Syndicate Operative daggers, you can't really shotgun anything right now. Like it's just shooting multiple projectiles, probably like similar to the skeletons, but it doesn't really deal out as much damage as them. That's why you can see that Spectres have gone slightly downhill over here. Okay, they are not really using anything particularly special. Okay, so next, third, we have Carrion Golem. Okay, so Carrion Golem is also one of the popular builds. As I've mentioned earlier, I've been playing Carrion Golem since like so many leagues ago, and I've never changed it as a league starter and a medium budget build. So I kind of like can relate how good the build is in terms of single target. Okay, this build is just crazy top over the hill DPS in terms of single target. It just dishes out so much damage if you are playing the physical build with the impales and stuff. There's really no effort to it. You just need to stand around and watch all your Carrion Golems slam and slap the boss like really hard. Okay, the only problem with this build is the Anima Stone. Okay, the Anima Stone is always the problem to this build because Primordial Might is very expensive. The only chance you can get it cheap in the early game is on day 1, which I bought the gem myself on day 1 for 25 chaos, I think so. Just rush and do the chaos recipe, do your endless highs or whatever in the early game and buy. This is like the very first, okay, sorry, this is the second item you buy. The first item will probably be like Clay Shapers. Okay, I didn't go for the Cold Iron Point this build because it's just ridiculously expensive. In my own opinion, it's not even worth it unless you are going for the medium budget build. So for the low budget build, Cold Iron Point is not worth it at all. You're just increasing your damage by like about 500k for like what, another 4 more exalts. At that point of time it was like 4 exalts. I think now it's about 1 exalt each, so I'm not sure. Okay, so yeah, this is the summon Carrion Golem build. Is still in the top 3 list, and zombies has kind of like fall off. Okay, I would say it's actually quite near, but yeah, these 3 are the top contenders for that. Okay, and last on the list we have Raider. So Raider, the most popular builds will be Toxic Rain, Lightning Strike, and Caustic Arrow. Okay, I think they use Caustic Arrow together with Toxic Rain, right? I'm not sure, but yeah, I'll just focus on these 2. So Toxic Rain and Lightning Strike. I really don't think there's much explanation needed here. Toxic Rain Raider has always been so popular in the early games because of how well Toxic Rain just scales in the skill tree. You don't really need anything. Like literally you don't even need anything. It will be good if you have some damage over time modifier on your bows, quivers, but ultimately the skill just scales itself very well on the tree. There is literally nothing needed. You can just go full rare life and visits with movement speeds and some attributes on your ring, and yeah, just good to go, man, all the way until maps. Like I think even yellow tier maps is fine, and then probably red tier maps you might struggle a bit, but yeah, this build just does so well with little or even no investment at all. That's why it has always been so popular, because now it's already 1 week into the league, so you don't really see so much Raider Toxic Rain. They are probably used for farming into their second build, which is the medium budget version. So that's why it has actually scaled down onto the 5th position, right? Otherwise, it was actually the top 2. I think it was the second one. It was the second position in the first few days of the league. Oh wait, I can actually do that, right? Yeah, I can show you later. But yeah, so this is Toxic Rain. Really no items required or whatsoever. Just scales so well, and it's still top of it because I assume people are still trying to farm their way. There are not many there are not many super hardcore players out there that, you know, on the first 2 days I have to rush and get to the final end game bosses. So I will say there are still lots of casual players out there that are taking their time, you know, enjoy the game, enjoy the process, and yeah, just play what you like. Okay, and then next we have Lightning Strike. So Lightning Strike was actually popular last league already. I did not play the build, but I saw how the build works. It just utilizes lots of frenzy charges for your attack speed, dodge, evasion, and whatsoever. And what Lightning Strike does is it actually is a melee hit, but upon hitting it, it actually fires multiple projectiles behind, like a claw shape kind of cone, and it just hits everything at the back. Okay, it's really good in terms of clear speed, I will say. It has quite a fast clear because first of all it's Raider, and then second it actually hits behind. So if I were to compare it, I would say it's somewhat similar to Frostblade. Yeah, where you hit the first target and it just branch out to the rest behind. So it's really good, and with the claw weapon, right, it enables this build to use Nightblade support. I think Nightblade support is probably one of the best support I've ever seen, like in all time, man. There's just so much benefit and good stuff from this support. Like you gain elusive, you gain crit chance, you gain base crit chance, and then you have even multiple as in you even have critical strike multiplier. So all three of these on one support gem. I don't even think you can find this kind of supports anywhere on other gems. That's why I have like labeled this support as like some god SSS tier or something like that. But yeah, overall this build is just very awesome. I have seen it in play. I've never played it, but I know it has good map clear, and when it comes to bossing, right, this build is actually quite insane as well. I think if I remember, I read it somewhere, upon hitting the boss, the lightning damage behind actually procs on the boss as well. So it kind of like shotgun the boss with all the lightning projectiles behind. Okay, so for those of you that wants to try this build, I will say it's not an easy build because it is a melee build. You have to know all the dodge mechanics. So if you are a beginner, please, I wouldn't recommend this build. Yep. Okay, so like I mentioned, right, you see this is the day 2 time frame. Raider is second on the list with Toxic Rain. Like, no doubt. Look, there's so many people playing. It's just very easy to scale in the early game. It transits so fast and so well. You really don't have much problem, and you just zoom your whole entire egg and white and yellow maps along the way. Okay, so this is my conclusion. The meta has really shifted very drastically again this league, and with the nerfs to Syndicate operatives, right, you don't see a crazy amount of Necromancer Spectres anymore. I believe if I remember correctly, last league was like more than 90% of the Necromancers are playing the Spectres, which is definitely your Syndicate operatives because they are like just the best at that point of time. There is really nothing more you can compare. Last league they have done a very huge and significant nerfs to all the support gems, and Spectres or minions was one of them that was not really affected. Okay, that's why Spectres was so strong. And then with the nerfs to Spectral Shield Throw, you don't even see any of it at the top of the list. Like I was actually scrolling down, I don't even see like small amount of people playing. Okay, maybe a small amount of people are still playing the Gladiator Spectral Shield Throw for the bleed and stuff, but they just don't scale at all now. It's just really bad. Okay, and this is the new thing. Say hello to Champion, man. The buffs to Champion has made many builds viable now. It scales so well with almost just anything. Like you can even pair it up with any other builds. You don't have to be like Toxic Rain or whatever. You can just do I don't know, Split Arrow, Tornado Shot, some melee skills or whatever. It's just so good. Yeah, it's just so good. The reason is because the class by itself just gives so much survivability and tankiness. You don't really have to worry about you dying so much. Okay, this is just the perfect start for beginners that are playing this league, because like I mentioned, you're not dying so much, and you can just enjoy the game progression. Like, who likes dying so much, right? Okay, and traps is dominating in the meta this league. It is really there really is a high percentage of people playing it, and that's probably the sole reason why Cold Iron Point is so goddamn expensive this league. It's literally like the endgame weapon for the build. I don't think there is anything better. Like, yes, you can probably craft some GG endgame rare daggers with +1 to jewel, socket to jewel, or +1 to jewels and stuff like that with additional trap damage, but Cold Iron Point is more than enough for it. It's more than enough. With a +3 to physical support gems, it literally supports everything in your whole entire body. Like with 2, that will be a +6 already, right? And if you are running Pride and stuff like that, your Pride will also be a +6. So it's just ridiculous. Oh yeah, there's Determination as well. I think Determination is a spell and physical. Was it? Okay, I really can't remember. So sorry on that. But yeah, just in short, right, just core endpoint is just so awesome for traps right now. Physical traps. Okay, and overall I will just say the current meta is actually quite refreshing. It's something new. It's not something that you often see with all the new changes every league, all the new updates and patches. But then again, these are all meta builds that popular streamers have deemed them as very high tier. They are just solid characters and good, with good mechanics that you can run them with very little effort and stuff like that. And yeah, if you can't win them, just join them. Otherwise, from a casual player perspective, just play whatever you like, man. Like, okay, if you would like me to recommend a build to play, something that you like, at least play something that has good clear, okay? Because the Scourge at the mid game or end game onwards is really fun. As you map more and more, you will start, I can't really explain, but you will understand it, okay? With the Scourge corrupted maps, all the juice up tier, whether is it tier 1, tier 5 or tier 10 corrupted Scourge maps with all the drops that you can guaranteed get from the Scourge rare monsters, right? It's very delicious. Don't believe me? Just try it for yourself. Reach towards the mid game and you will start to understand. You have maps like rare Scourge monsters drop 1 scarab, rare Scourge monsters drop 1 additional currency. Yeah, when you are doing the Scourge maps, there will be a lot of them that are actually rare. So you will get tons and tons of drops. It's just insane. I don't have a video for it because I did not record it down. I am still building my new character, and once I have it, I will upload it and you guys can like sort of understand why it's just so delicious and juicy at the end game for Scourge maps. Okay, that comes to the end of my meta report. And yeah, let me know how have you been progressing and what characters have you been progressing with in the current league. Because I think even though majority of the people are playing those meta builds, right, there are actually quite a lot of people that are playing something else. So yeah, drop your message in the comments below. Let me know what you are currently progressing with. Okay, and before I end off, I just want to do a shout out to those of you that actually asked many questions on the build guides that I've made. So first of all, Carrion Golem. I will try my best to do a medium budget version, and this will only be theory crafting because we are not going to do aura stacking anymore, and I'm very sure I will not be playing the medium budget version for this league anymore. Okay, next will be for Flicker Strike. I have received many questions and asks and helps for this build. I think I don't know why, but somehow it has been super popular. I don't think actually, maybe because anybody has made a guide for it, that's why people are coming to ask me for it. I don't really play Flicker Strike very often, even though I like it. So I'm just doing it to help out my friend actually. But yeah, since so many of you request it, I've actually done a better low budget version of it where you can transit into the full cold damage medium budget version later on. I think the medium cold budget version is also a very popular pick for the Flicker Strike. And yeah, do remember to check out my guide once I upload it. And next, for the Bleed Gladiator, sorry guys, I will not be continuing anything for this build anymore because the medium budget just doesn't scale well. Okay, with the amount of currency you're gonna invest in it, I think you're better off investing in other better builds. Like, they will have much better survivability, clear, single target, whatever you want is definitely better than the Bleed Gladiator. The Bleed Bow Gladiator is just a league starter for you to start out much smoother and easier because you don't really need anything off from it. Okay, Asylum is just a bonus, but you don't really need it as well. Okay, and last but not least, I will be doing a low budget version of the Cast on Crit Ice Nova or Ice Spear build. The guides are in progress, so you just gotta wait for it. I will most likely be playing the COC as my second character, so do look out for both the low and medium budget version of the build. Okay, I'm still not sure whether is it going to be Occultist or Assassin, but I might do both of it since both are the more popular ones. Okay, once again, thank you for watching. Do remember to hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see more of my videos. Thank you. Bye.